Hi everybody, it's the CCJT Amateur, where production values go to die, as always. It is Sunday, September 7th. Sunday, September 7th. Wow, the first Sunday in September. There is a nip in the air, as they say. And we are drinking coffee. We're drinking coffee.
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Anyway.
Coffee.
JT.
CC.
Yeah, something like that. If you've been a fan of our podcast, and of course, or if this is your first experience, well, welcome. And what it is we do podcasts to help writers write. That's our mission statement. That's our motto, to help writers write. We try to keep it simple. We've won an award. We've had numerous writers on. We're going to have another writer on here. We're working with the provosts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be working with the provosts and get their stuff up next week.
Yep.
So, which is fantastic, and so just really, we're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're having fun. We're keeping busy, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to do current events very quickly. So, what's a good current event? Because we've got a few things going on all at once.
Well, I took a little writing break. I've been working on some poetry for Spooktober, but in the meantime, in order to get the ambiance, I have been decorating the house for
this place is really fantastic.
The
just take
spooky
pictures
season.
and just post it.
I'm actually going to do a video. I did a video of the house before I did the swap over, and then I'm going to do another walkthrough with everything all spookified.
Yeah, spookified. So the place looks really great. I just so much love it when CC gets his decorating bug.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Halloween just vomited all over the place, and you wait till Christmas. Christmas is just spectacular.
Not like that house that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, we kind of Zillow gone wild on Reddit, and it's there's some houses out there, and it's like.
If you follow Zillow Gone Wild on Reddit, look up the Christmas house, because you will not believe it. I'm not even close to that level.
Yeah, it's like, it's like that's a fetish. That's not an obsession, it's a fetish.
Well, apparently it's a rental house, so I think people may rent it for shoots or something. But so that's what I've been up to. I've been decorating, changing things out for autumn and Halloween.
Yeah, I kind of took a mental break too, because I was working on the Finding Salvation series in my brain. I just had brain fart, so I need to get back to that. That's coming out later this year. The Serving Salvation trilogy is complete. That came out at the last week of August. So there's those 3 books out there. And related to that is, our books aren't selling. So what I've done is I've dropped all the prices of my book ones, which includes the, Sheriff of Nevada, the first book of Serving Salvation, and the 3 other series. I dropped those all down to 99 cents in a blatant, obvious attempt to get you all to read the books. I can't drop the prices any lower because we're not a member of Kindle. You have to be a Kindle thing in order to do zero.
Kindle we have gone wide. We're not Kindle exclusive.
Yeah, so I might look at some of the other publishing platforms that could go out there. But if you really want to make our day, order through our bookstore. That's fun.
And you may have seen that we posted pictures of our bookshelves, because we obviously added JT's 3rd Serving Salvation book. We are stocked up. We may have to stock up a little bit more, because we have quite the fall calendar coming up.
Yep. Yeah, we are going to be busy. Of course, be October, Spooktober. Mm-hmm. So CC is going to be doing her thing, and it's fascinating. You're going to be doing poetry, and
I'm writing some spooky poetry, because the last 2 years for Spooktober, I've read Edgar Allan Poe, who I adore, but I kind of got the bug this year to try to write some of my own spooky poetry. And speaking of Stephen Provost, I am a member of a Facebook group called Horror West Coast. So kind of along with that, I've been inspired to try a little bit more spooky writing of my own. And I do plan to put out probably just a small book. I've been playing around with Canva Pro and did a book cover. So I might do a small book of poetry with some graphic design, because I like playing around with that. Just, as you said, just kind of a mental break, because we have been working very hard on our writing, and I am still working on my 2nd book of the Restless Spirit series, but other things are taking a little bit of priority right now, because I'm on a time crunch. I want to get that started for October 1st.
Yeah,
This is a busy time of year.
Busy. If you want to meet us in person, we've got a lot of things going on there too. I'm going to mention the thing that we have scheduled because that's one I always remember first, and that's Barnes & Noble on November 4th.
November 8th.
November 8th. In addition to Barnes & Noble on November 8th, that's in South Reno, we are going to be doing Mark Twain Days.
Yes.
We are going to be doing Nevada Day Booth.
Yes.
And I forgot the last one already.
We're doing the Sierra Arts Foundation Bookfest.
The Sierra Arts Foundation Bookfest.
In order, it will be Sierra Arts Foundation Bookfest, which is October 11th in Sparks near the Depot Gallery. It will be the Mark Twain, Mark Twain Days. If you're in Carson City, we'll be at the Brewery Arts Center campus, and it will be October 18th. So it's the week after the Sierra Arts Foundation. Nevada Day, strangely this year, is actually, the parade day is November 1st because in their infinite wisdom, the legislature made Nevada Day officially, the final Friday of October. So it does fall on Halloween this year, but that means that the parade is actually the day after. So Nevada Day Parade, November 1st. We will be somewhere, I think around Curry Street.
Most likely Curry Street, hopefully.
That parking lot.
Yeah, that's what we requested anyway, so we'll see how that goes.
So it's a little bit behind McFadden Plaza, if you're familiar with Carson City. And then November 8th is Barnes & Noble, and we're looking at potentially some other events as well. If there is a Christmas event at Reno Public Market, we may do that. And there was also, if the Nevada State Museum is doing a holiday fair this year, we may be involved in that as well. So we will be out and about a lot.
Reno Public Market maybe in December too.
Yes.
We don't have a September thing yet.
No,
but
I don't think we will.
I don't think we will, but if something comes up, we'll be out there. So check us out. Come up and say hi. Please buy our books. It's all kind of fun.
And that's a good lead into our topic for today because we're trying to do more in-person events. We're actually doing more paid events now. Up to this point, we've done anything free that has come our way, but we have paid for these events, so we're hoping to break even.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a step back, and we're going to talk about Jean-Luc Picard, our friend Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard, of course, is the captain of the Enterprise D, NCC 1701D. God, that sounds like such a
No, bloody A, B, C, or D.
No, I'm refrain. Okay.
No. Okay.
And of course, he had his own series later. Patrick Stewart had his own series, self-named series, Picard. Mm-hmm. But the clip that I'm going to do specifically has to deal with this particular instance, and it's his very famous clip. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. It's not a weakness. This is life.
Yep.
And that's kind of how we're feeling right now. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. This is not a weakness. This is life. So the blog post will probably be labeled "This is Life." Mm-hmm. And in every humongous endeavor and every small endeavor that we take, it is hard not to look at things as a win-lose situation, because if you take the 10,000-foot view, there is no such thing as really losing. There's winning and learning. Mm-hmm. There's winning and learning. So I don't want to get into that losing mindset. But it's hard not to. Anyway, excuse me.
You only lose if you give up, I think. If you really want to do something, you continue doing it even when things get hard. And anyone who is an independently self-published author knows that this is a hard life. It's very busy. As we just said, there's a lot going on. We not only have writing, we have to schedule our editing, budgeting, book covers, all that stuff. You're always doing things.
Yeah, we're always doing business.
So it is a hard life. But it's a fun life too.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, but it's I don't want to say aggravating or frustrating, but maybe disheartening.
I think disheartening is the perfect word for it.
Disheartening, because there's all this work that we've been doing, and you would think that A plus B plus C would equal sales. It does not. It simply does not.
Mhm.
And it's not as if we're not following the blueprint, because we are following the blueprint. We are producing what we feel are high quality books that are going through vetting, editing. We feel that the covers are quality. We feel that the format inside are quality. We feel that we are appropriately marketing and doing the social media. We'll talk a little bit more about social media here in a second. We feel that we're doing that. We feel that we've created a mechanism in which we not only promote our books, but we promote other people's books by doing 2 podcasts where we invite not only local writers onto the Nevada Author Network, but we invite international authors on this podcast. So we've been trying to work through that way. We've been trying to encourage reviews. We've done, advanced reader copies. We've offered, advanced copies to everybody. We've even offered free books. And of course, like I said earlier, we've got 99-cent book out there for our series. Series are a way to make money, they say. And of course, you talked about the business. We have set up a business. We've
all the licensing and the tax ID and the LLC and we went through a full month's worth of paperwork to get this thing official. So it was time consuming, but we feel that it was worthwhile because it gives us legitimacy.
So we've done the A plus B plus C.
Yep.
But it has an equal D, which is the ultimate thing, is to try to come up with a second income to supplement our retirement pensions. And it's, it's disheartening. And, it's hard because it feels like, basically, bluntly, for all our efforts, we're being ignored. And of course, I always wonder if that's part of the problem, is maybe we're trying so hard that people have tuned us out, which is possible, probable, I don't know.
Well, and there is a lot going on in the world right now. There are a lot of other authors. All the people that we've spoken with up to this point, I think pretty much every single one of them has said that marketing is very difficult. They keep saying things like, this is not going to make you an income, like a livable income.
Yeah.
You are not going to become an overnight millionaire unless you're, and even the really well-known authors, I'm wondering if they're struggling now too, because it does not seem like people are really overwhelmingly going out and talking about a particular author somewhere. I think we are in a phase maybe where people are still reading, they're still engaging with authors, but I think there's not like that bright shining beacon author out there, the Stephen King, the Tolkien, somebody like that everybody knows and talks about. I think it's just overall authors as a whole, even the really well-known traditionally published ones, are having a rough time.
Yeah.
Because I think we're just in a phase. Maybe we're in a lull.
Yeah, it's literacy doesn't have the same audience or gravitas. That's the word I'm looking for. Literacy
True.
doesn't have the same gravitas as it is. We're going to get semi-political here for a moment, but it's unavoidable. We're in an era where dumb is celebrated, where stupid is celebrated, and
maybe we should say maybe uneducated.
Well,
stupidity has a connotation to it. I think it's people are not seeking knowledge the way they were.
Yeah, it's like I've done my own research kind of thing, and
I've used AI to get research, which we used to talk about Wikipedia not being a reliable source.
People are relying more on AI to get their answers, which is really it's good and bad. But literacy, reading, research, actual thoughtful research used to support arguments versus to create an argument.
Reason, debate.
It's you disagree with me, and that's fine, but I still think stupid is celebrated, and it's and that affects writers because we are in the business of selling words, and we passionately work on these words, and it's during this time, I want to hope, I want to believe that the pendulum is going to swing someday back in the other direction, where people will buy books for joy, but it's disheartening. I keep coming back to that word.
Well, I think the other thing we're dealing with, you mentioned briefly social media earlier. There is the cult of celebrity. So you have particular people who are really well known on various social media platforms, specifically at this point TikTok. And these people, whatever they may be doing, they build a following, and the algorithms favor that. And then people who have not yet built a following, they tend to suffer because everybody is looking for specific content based on this cult of celebrity. What they're doing is the hottest, newest trend, and it changes on a dime. So keeping up with the newest, hottest thing in this cult of celebrity, it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
So people who even had a mediocre following on social media are now saying they're getting no engagement. So there are a lot of different factors going on. And as I said, it's not just us. It's a lot of people.
But let's go the other flip. Let's flip that coin and say, what if it is us?
What if
it is us? Because that's if we're going to make this discussion, we need to include our books in this discussion.
Right.
We bluntly say, are our books good enough? Are they worthy enough of attention? We've received good feedback from people we don't know, which is always the ultimate decider. But we haven't received a lot. So what if it's our books are not, as you said, not only going with the current trend,
right?
But what if they are not simply not readable? And of course that would be hard for us to determine because we have that's a blind spot with us. But it is also something fair to say outside. What if our books simply aren't good enough? We don't know that, and I don't know how we could know that. But I'm just putting it out there.
Well, okay, so pushing back on that a little bit, I think there is a way we could determine that. And very famously recently on social media, there was a young author who hyped her book to no end. She had something like 6,000 pre-orders, and I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but if you are on social media, you will have heard about this whole debacle, basically, is what it turned into. She had all these wonderful plans. She really talked up her book. She got people excited. She got a ton of pre-orders. The book came out and people hated it. They said that it was not well written. It was not well edited. She had all these grandiose plans, very young author. And, when you're young, you think that you can do no wrong and everything is, perfect. And she found out that it was a big mistake to have put her book out when she did. She needed a lot more developmental work on it. So to go to your point, I think if our books were terrible, they would be well known for being terrible. Yeah. So I think our point may be not that we're the best writers or the worst writers. We're right in the middle. Yeah. We're, I don't know if you'd say mediocre, average, whatever, and trying to get eyes on your books. For better or for worse, if you have a horrible book, sometimes people will read it because they're like, what the heck is so terrible about this?
Train wreck. Yeah.
And you keep joking about getting those 1-star reviews. It's like, I wish I'd get a bad review so I could promote it that way. Yeah. So I think our problem is not being really good or really bad. It's that we're average.
Yeah. And
the law of averages.
Yeah.
That puts us in the same boat as a lot of other people.
So if the diagram goes like this, we're up there with everybody else.
Everybody else. So I think if we had written truly awful books, we might actually be better off.
Yeah, we should write truly awful books. That's not going to happen because I still feel that reading a book is an investment for our readers, investment in energy, investment in time, investment in emotion. Because yes, we do sell words, but we also sell feelings. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to be doing that, then we need to give them a product that they can feel that they invest in. Mm-hmm. So, and we have talked about how to break out of this, and we do have a plan on how to break out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into my ideas folder because every writer has an ideas folder. And I'm going to pull something out and then try to write, maybe, quote unquote, write to market. Excuse my allergies. Write to market. And then maybe try to do an indie press and see if we can, hitch a star to a publishing company, independent publishing company that already has followers. And then maybe we can get going that way, see if we can break out of the cycle. Because this year we have either released or we're going to release half a dozen books.
Maybe more.
And, and they haven't really gone anywhere. They haven't, we've gotten, our fan club, who we adore,
they've been busy.
Our fan club's been busy, but they found time for us.
Yes.
And, they've all been professionally edited by terrycase.com and our friends at Red Adept, and and they're I believe their product's worthy of your time, but y'all don't think so, which is again fair.
Well, and we can't really say that, because I think the problem is not that people don't find the books worthwhile. I think the problem is that the people don't find the books.
Yeah.
As much as we have tried to promote them, we're still floundering because there's just so much out there right now. And I think really, since we are not tremendously great or tremendously bad, we just don't garner a lot of attention because we're in the same place as a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of going back to the law of averages. We need to do something. I used the analogy previously that our books are floating in the ocean, and every once in a while one of them might wash up on shore, and somebody walking on the beach might happen to come across it. So, we're still hoping for that, for the sea of books to wash ours up on shore and find somebody who has maybe a following that reads it and puts it out there and says, hey, this is worth your attention. We haven't found that yet. And the odds of us finding that,
That's why we're breaking out of our set routine. Like for example, CC mentioned, we're actually paying now to do book appearances. We've spent a few $100s now on a book appearance to do book signings. So we're breaking out of that mold. We're going to see if we can do. We're going to see if we can put together a decent manuscript. Put together a decent manuscript and pull up a list of indie publishers and send it out. We're going to try and break out that way. All while doing what we're doing at the same time, and continuing to publish under 2 more books LLC and continuing that. And we're not giving up. We're not giving up.
No,
but we're trying to break the routine because we're in a routine now that is efficient. We're in a routine that produces books, but it doesn't produce sales.
Right.
And that's where that's where I'm distracted. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the door hanger over there.
Okay, I thought I heard something, but I didn't want.
It's coming off. It's one of CC's decorations, and it's taped to the door, and it's slowly coming off. So if you hear something, just go crumple it. That's what's going on.
I thought anyway,
we're going to break out of this routine, and we're going to expand, and we're going to try. We're going to look back at this time saying we tried everything and this was successful and this was not successful. But I'm going to go back to Jean-Luc and I'm going to repeat this quote, excuse me. It's just possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. This is life.
Right.
Well, I want to also point out that writing a book and publishing a book and editing a book and getting the book cover together and doing all that, that is a success.
Yes.
What you're seeing here, these are successes.
Yep.
That's our success. This is Mr. Provost's success.
Yep.
That is a humongous success to get that all out, especially a nonfiction book, which I have great amount of respect for.
Yeah.
Nonfiction, I like making things up. Nonfiction. But those are signs of great success. And I know that I want to see sales to complete that success, and so I forget that we are successful.
Yeah, if you look at the bookshelf behind us, the picture that we have posted, those are a majority of the books that have been written by JT exclusively. I have some catching up to do, but the fact that JT has sat down and completed 2 full series now. You're working on the Emma Park. Oh no, 3.
Emma
You have
Parks,
the duology, so the Tucci Chronicles. You have the Emma Park series, the
Serving
Serving
Salvation.
Salvation series. The Sheriff in Nevada series is in progress, so we know at least 4 books. You may end up with more at this
Yes.
point because you were pushing to not even write a second book to that.
Yeah, and
So-
the Finding Salvation series is in progress.
Yes, so those are 3 novellas that will end up being a single compilation in physical form, and that's something else that for quite a while, we were only putting out ebooks.
Yeah.
So we've been expanding what we're doing. We've expanded our distribution channels. We've been networking with other authors, and it does take time. So the one thing that we have to continue doing is to be persistent. We have to be willing to think outside the box, and hopefully someday people will start to recognize us as they have been with you in person recently. We just need a few more of those people. And then, who knows what will happen from there. But
Be
we're still
patient.
working on that portion
Be
of it,
patient.
is the persistence and the consistencies that we have to
Patience
keep
and
continuing to do what we're doing.
Patience and persistence.
Yep,
Okay.
that's the hard part,
That's
the
the hard part.
patience. Because people love a success story. So you will normally start to see a lot about a person who has become what they consider a big success. Whether that is an overnight success, which isn't normally the case, or whether it's been years and years of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, you see the end result of that. We are in the early stages. So if you continue to follow along with us, hopefully we will get to the success stage, as in selling our books and having a following, and you can actually come back here and see how we got there. So that's what we're doing here, is we're documenting. So when we are successful in the future, people can come back and look at these hundreds and thousands of podcasts and see what we did, and see that it wasn't really an overnight success.
Oh, yes. The 15, 16, whatever year, overnight success plan.
Yeah, it's a long, hard process.
It's a long, hard process. But we're not going to give up, and we
Nope.
hope that you hang in there with us as we do this process, as we continue to go forward. But it's a challenge. It's a tough challenge.
Yeah, it's when you have successive book releases where everything is very exciting, and we've mentioned this before. The lead up to release day is always exciting because you're thinking, this is the book that's going to do it. And then crickets.
Yeah.
So we've had that happen several times in a row, and it does get to be disheartening, as you said, but that doesn't mean we're giving up, because we're stubborn.
We're going to keep going. I don't know why.
Just keep swimming.
Just
No.
keep swimming. I don't know why.
So he's made this comment before. If you were not doing this, what would you be doing?
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like yesterday, I just wasn't feeling well, so I just sat in front of the computer and played games all day, which I can get away with because retired. We could just get away with that. My eyeballs were working because I kept watching CC go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as she was decorating the place. How many steps did you end up with yesterday?
Well, I didn't have my watch turned on, so it wasn't as many as I could have had.
But, and it's like, because I wasn't feeling well, I just sort of spaced off for the day. And I did go for a walk. I did, I did do the one retirement thing, and that was exercise. I did exercise. But it is very easy just to sit in front of the computer and zone out for the rest of the day. So probably that's what I would do, which is pretty gosh darn shame, because we worked so hard to get to this point. We worked, decades of public service, and then just sort of sit in front of the computer and zone out, which is what I was doing when I was in public service. Sorry, Sandy, that's what I was really doing.
Well, and so JT, at the end of this month, will have been retired for 3 years. He retired 1.5 years before I did, because I'm coming up on 1.5 years at the end of the month. Now, in the first few months of being retired, JT was absolutely bored out of his mind. And I was at work, he was emailing me, and what do I do? I'm so bored. And I was like, get back to writing, you know? And then, boy, did he, in a big way. So he wrote like crazy, which is why so many books have come out this year. But I think in retirement, we need some stimulation. We are not the kind of people, as you said, who would sit around and play games all day and really feel comfortable with that, because it's just not healthy. It's fine to take a break every once in a while, but don't do it constantly.
There's got to be, there's more to life. This is a wonderful gift we're given with finite time and finite energy. To sit in front of a computer and just play computer games is a waste. Okay.
So I think that, just to wrap it up, that's going back to, why do we do this? Because we enjoy it. Because
I mean, you're right. We do enjoy it, but it's like, boy, it's in a masochistic kind of way. It just seems like, so much.
It's something we're hoping to leave something for our descendants. You know, maybe one of our grandkids one day will pick up our books and they'll learn a little bit more about us. Or our great-grandkids, or our great-great-grandkids.
Or maybe someday hundreds of people will pick up our book, because we're also running for the future. Because hopefully, we do become that success, and then we'll have this catalog that people can go back to. So,
so there are reasons. It's not like we're just beating our head against the wall for no good reason.
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way, though, doesn't it?
And by the way, in case you hadn't figured it out already, this is a little bit of a therapy session, because JT's been feeling really down lately. So we're talking out what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and the fact that we are going to continue doing it, because that's just who we are.
Okay. Anyway, I know we've heard this song before, but it's also, we're vocalizing what we've been thinking. Therapy. But we're also making plans of how we're going to break out of this. We're going to spend more money. We're going to try the indie press thing. Which means I have to write a brand new book, not from scratch, because like I said, I've got dozens of ideas in my ideas folder. I just have to pick something that'll work.
And we're hoping that if you're following along, the handful of people that do follow us, and if you are in a similar boat and you're feeling very disheartened about what you're doing, just take a step back and think about what else you might be doing. Is it really what you want to do? And, do you need to pivot somewhere? Do you need to start trying something different? Do you need to maybe, as we're doing, spend a little more money to try to get things out there into the public eye more? We're hoping that these in-person events will start to at least build a local following. And, from there, they know people who live outside the area. It can expand. It's like dropping that stone into a pond and watching the ripple. So that's what we're doing.
So if you've got any ideas what two independent writers can do to improve their product and improve their expandability, please drop a comment on this blog post, because we would sure be interested in what worked for you, and maybe equally as important, what hasn't worked for you. For example, I do think that book signings will work for us. I do think it will work. So, like as you said, so we put a face on the writers. But as a writer, did book signings not work for you, and why? So let us know what did not work for you. Because we're going to keep doing as the little fish said in that Disney movie. We're just going to keep swimming, just keep swimming.
And we did try to actually spend money on social media marketing, and had a discussion with someone who is a social media professional that at this point it won't do us any good because we don't have a following. So throwing money at no following doesn't make any sense. So we have looked at things like that as well. There are things that maybe we're just not ready to get to yet that we will try in the future. There's a lot involved in this, guys.
So let us know what you think what you think can work. If you tried any tricks, have you tried anything? Especially if you're a writer, and I've said this before, it's not that we're competitors. We're colleagues. We're colleagues. When one of us wins, we all win. We lift each other up. Okay, I think we've pretty much killed that. Killed that. Is there anything else we want to chat about?
No, I think we covered everything. If you do follow us, if you are signed up for our newsletter, you will have the list of events that we will be doing there in case you're interested in joining us. And we hope you do follow along. So you can go to our website at www.carsonhume.com to sign up for our newsletter. You can find this and our other podcasts on there, as well as the Nevada Author Network at www.twomorebooks.com.
She did the commercial. I usually do the commercial. She did the commercial. Okay.
Just trying to shake things up a little
Just
bit.
shake things up a little bit. So whatever y'all decide to do, whatever happens in your life, we do wish you the very best of luck and very best of love. Be good to yourselves and take care of yourselves, because we are better with you than we are without you. And please, be with us.
And as we head into the fall season here in the Northern Hemisphere, I hope you're enjoying the pleasant weather that we are having where you are, and that you have a wonderful Sunday.
Yep. Now, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.